Doing?
MGM, hi everyone, doing well.
And nobody just jumped in. Let me invite her up. Okay. Welcome in, Noma. Welcome in, Jose. Just do a quick mic check for me, Noma.
Testing, testing, 1, 2. Hope you can hear me
Loud and
and see
clear.
me.
Go ahead. Take it away.
All right, and are you gonna share the slides? Can you cue them up on your end?
On my end, I can do that. Let me just get the slides. Or are you talking to Jose? Sorry.
No, I was talking to you, and but if you don't have them queued up,
No, let
just
me
load
let
it
me
up.
do it right now. Sorry, I can get it up. Okay, let me present. Give me 1 second. Okay.
All right, perfect. Thank you all for being here. First of all, just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone. I know we left things off at the end of the year Treasury Talk with new SPEs presenting their ideas, existing SPEs sharing their 2024 recaps. And I think that was a pretty informative session. And of course, the first session hosted by GovWorks officially. So yeah, just here to pick things back up in the new year, touch base on objectives, on some governance updates, and of course, mainly hear from new and existing SPs once again. So yeah, we can go to the next slide where we have the agenda. I'll just quickly run through that for what to expect in today's session. Slide. Yeah, for today, just a quick intro, like we already did, and then we will have the SP presentations coming. So we have some upcoming SPs in the pipeline, and then we'll be reviewing very briefly SP activity for 2025. And then we have GovWorks here to give a couple reminders. There will be time for Q&A, and then wrap up next step, a couple action items. So yeah, I think we can dive right in the interest of time. Yeah, the purpose of this session is to highlight upcoming SBEs. We heard from, I think, about 4 or 5 SBEs in the last session and actually got some pre-proposals up on the forum. Of course, between then and now, there have been a couple changes in direction and focus, and so we will have some of those teams sharing what that shift in focus has been since then. And then, of course, updates from existing SPEs. There have been a couple proposals passed in the on-chain governance portal to fund the continuation of existing SPEs. So we'll be touching base there as well. And then, of course, discussing some governance activity in Livepeer just to keep everyone abreast of what's been going on. Of course, we'll be highlighting the importance of community engagement in Livepeer's growth and then aligning on our key objectives for the year. So yeah, really quickly, just wanted to give you all a snapshot of what is happening in the SB pipeline. This resource is actually available in the Governance Hub that was launched in December. This is just a bird's eye view of what is going on in SB world. So we have 4 categories: an idea phase, pre-proposal phase, and current SBE, and then completed. So that will give you an idea of what the current SBs are looking like. If you click into the tiles, you will see an aggregation of the proposals that have been on the forum, reports, and so on, just for the accountability aspect. The pre-proposal tab is for just to have a look at what is currently in progress and what teams are currently discussing to ship as SPEs. And then the idea phase is to give like some insight on high priority SPEs for Livepeer. So if there are teams that are looking to fill some gaps that exist, you can always check this tab out to see what is going on, where you can potentially contribute. Like I know the Delegator SPE has been one of really high focus the past couple weeks, but nobody has quite taken that on just yet. So we'll be populating this field with more of those ideas so that hopefully the community can start taking them on and forming SPs around. And yeah, we could dive right into upcoming SP proposals, what proposals are in the pipeline. We will be kicking off with the refraction team. So just going to call Raf Katz on stage, already has a hand raised, to present the evolution of the SP proposal that we saw on the forum a couple weeks back and just discussing the shift in focus. So I'm just going to hand it over to you, Raf. Take it away.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Noma. And hello, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to share our evolving vision for driving Livepeer adoption. And, Refraction, maybe I could introduce myself for those who don't know me. I am the co-founder of Refraction. Before founding this artist organization, I was with Vice for over a decade, working as an editor, head of creative, etc. But really always about really connecting with emergent artists, giving them new opportunities. And so I think what we've built at Refraction is a really great vehicle for live peer adoption. And we do believe that the technology adoption is really driven by trust and real world impact. And so we believe that when respected creators use a platform to make compelling work, others are going to follow. And so I think that's where Refraction's proven strengths align really well with live peers' needs. And through our network of established artists and our track record of successful global activations, I think maybe some of you might be familiar and or maybe even come to some of the stuff that we've done. We're always try and bring both the credibility and execution capability needed to show different kinds of technology, and Livepeer is no exception. Um, so our original proposal really focused on these strengths, which is planning a creator showcase, which would have culminated at ETH Denver. But we got a lot of community feedback, which really helped us evolve the vision to better serve your needs. So I'd like to walk you through how we've evolved our approach based on this feedback from the community, and talk a little bit about next steps and continuing the value that we're going to create. So maybe I'll start with just recapping. If we go back to the first slide, just recapping our original proposal, supporting AI artists. This was focused on empowering 50 to 100 creators with Livepeer AI tools. We wanted to do an ETH Denver showcase with the core goal to drive adoption through creative innovation and demonstrate real world applications. And some of that remains true, but I think we received a lot of feedback from the community, which was, again, incredibly valuable. And so we got an emphasis on the need for stronger focus on technical validation over pure marketing. We did hear that there's maybe less interest in awareness through events and more interest in real world outcomes. How do we create provable examples of usage of the tech so that artists can feel really excited about it, can even hear about it, and also be excited to get on board and use it. We also heard that we want to focus on some clear measurable network impact, more specific definition of creator engagement, like how are we going to do this? What's that going to look like? How do we create some implementation plans that are more detailed, and sustainable adoption metrics? I think sustainable adoption to us is really important. It's not just the one and done idea, but how do we create a sort of funnel for this adoption to continue before, during, and after the event, right? So in response, we can go to the next slide. In response, we've refined our approach in several key ways. We're thinking less of an IRL event happening at ETH Denver and more of an online 24-hour technical showcase that uses and features Livepeer AI. That way we are, able to create more buzz, maybe globally, and get more eyeballs on things, throughout the 24-hour cycle. There's a long history of, famous 24-hour streams in art history and in culture that we can sort of tap into as far as a narrative goes, which I think is really great. We want to enhance our platform partner integration strategy. So the idea of like, how can we bring out the best of what's going on in the Livepeer ecosystem and partner with other platforms to, increase that awareness, increase that reach and engagement. Um, we want to define specific creator tiers with clear technical outcomes. We know that there's going to be different kinds of creators that we want to engage, and how do we specifically reach them, and what are the things that we want out of each of those? Right. Some creators are more connected, maybe to uh, the more developer stream, and others are more for a global sort of culture audience. How do we kind of dip into each of those and really maximize the outcomes there? We want to build a structured adoption funnel through platform partnerships. This idea again is, how do we get people not just aware and excited about it, but also using it and excited to use it through this sort of like cultural ecosystem or platform ecosystem that we can take advantage of what we're going to create. Creating clear paths to sustainable network usage growth. Obviously, we want to be able to show how this is going to lead at the end of the day to more usage on the network, more fees for for the users, and for the community as well. I want to talk about our next steps. We want to deepen our understanding of how to best implement Livepeer AI within the creative community. I think, rather than working in a silo, I think the power of Livepeer is that community and all the amazing things that are, being built on it, and the people that are excited to raise the raise the profile of it, and also show exactly what it can do. It's such a great solution. How do we tap into all the different communities, all the creators that are already on a Livepeer, all the people building on Livepeer, and really harness some of that and understand what those implementation options would be? Um, we want to research the optimal integration paths with existing creator tools, like I said, engaging with ecosystem partners to understand technical requirements. It's just some basic, how do we do this? How do we pull this off in a way that's going to really be impressive for the world to see? Creator specific AI use cases and workflows, I think, would be really handy, because that also um, really really builds a path to adoption for different kinds of creators that we think could be then used for marketing purposes, targeting purposes, community growth, paths, etc. And then developing a technical validation framework with platform partners, understanding like, how do we pull this off together? And for us, the value to the network remains clear. It's direct technical validation through real usage, measurable increase in network fees, documented implementation patterns, and sustainable creator adoption framework. And how do we really create almost an education campaign around this as well, where we're bringing people in, having people understand not only how to use it, but the whys? Like, I think Livepeer, one of the best things about it is that there's like a real um, mission around it, to really help free up creators from some of the legacy, um, gatekeeping from originally live streaming, and now AI compute. So I think there's a really great story to tell. I think creators, if we focus on an event, or an online event, or a 24-hour live stream, something that really creates buzz and excitement, and focus on some of the higher tier artists that we are already connected with, I think we could create a really great funnel for adoption, and really at the end of the day grow the network. So that's it for now. And for the next little while, I'm going to be reaching out to some of the community, learning more a little bit from them, getting some feedback as well. But we're going to put up the new pre-proposal in the next few days. Would love for everyone to check it out and add their own feedback, or if there's any questions, my DMs are always open. So yeah.
Great job, Raf. Just a note for me quickly. I think it's really amazing that you took in the feedback and restructured this. I think what you came up with is really strong. And the thing I wanted to add from the ink side is I think having a strong cultural narrative on why Livepeer is important in this moment in time and in history is really important. And I do think that Refraction has a finger on like that cultural pulse um, that can really help both the network, the community, and Inc. Push that narrative forward. And I think it's an exciting opportunity to have a stronger narrative be developed, and then we as the community can run with that and see what works, see what doesn't work. So yeah, that's just my comment. Excited to see it on the pre-proposal and leave some more comments there.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Raf. Yeah, I know a lot of the feedback that was integrated was left in the Treasury Talk from last year, so it really just highlights why this is important, why building out the SP idea in public is also important, because all those contributions really help to shape what is eventually sent to the Treasury for voting. So yeah, I just wanted to open up the floor first for some questions for Raf, if there are any. Also, feel free to post in chat, but if there are none right now, I can go over to the transcoding SP.
Who is the rep for this one?
For this one, we will call up Marco, who already has raised.
Welcome up, Marco. How are you doing?
Hi everyone, mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Sounds
All
good.
good, Marco.
Alright, I guess I'll get us started. So most of you might know me as Marco, longtime community member and node operator of StrongTech, but today I'm here on behalf of the MIS server team because we have the idea to form a new SPE called the Transcoding SPE. And so why do we think this is necessary? Well, first of all, we've seen a lot of development happening in terms of the AI pipeline and demand generation, and it's really making a lot of progress these past few months. But at the same time, we still have a transcoding pipeline, which needs dedicated maintainers and continuous improvements. And so we think we can fill in the gap here by forming this SPE and try and make sure that the transcoding service also remains an attractive option for as much potential users as possible. And this would, of course, benefit any gateway operator, including Livepeer Inc. with Studio. And it's a great chance for the community to take a bit of ownership over the transcoding pipeline, as opposed to waiting for Livepeer Inc. to dedicate resources to fixing or working on transcoding issues. And so, who are we? Because I don't think most people here know what MIS Server is. MIS Server is a streaming media toolkit. We're a fairly small team of just 5 people, only engineers. I count Balder as an engineer. He does testing, but sometimes he makes a bash script for us or something like that. Jaron, Karina, and Balder has been doing this for basically their whole life now. Ron Kumar almost as well. I joined the team like just over 4 years ago, and so we're all experts in live streaming. We love working on this. And in addition to providing our own engineering resources to this, we also want to hire an additional engineer, full-time engineer, to help us out on this and put up a bounty board as well. And so, what are the things we like to work on? Well, just to go over them briefly, general maintenance and fixes, like we've seen Josh make some awesome changes to the LPMS repository last year to improve the transcoding pipeline, stuff like that. New codec support like AV1 needs to be pulled over the finish line. Brad did a lot of work on this already. New hardware like Intel chips have great encoders in them, which we want to add. Smarter load balancing, which in terms of node operators, they currently do a quick benchmark, and then when they actually run the software, they can sometimes accidentally overload their GPUs because the software needs to be a little bit smarter in that area. latency reductions. So there are lots of improvements we can make here in terms of changing the way the gateway node ingests media or changing the way media gets transmitted between the gateway node and a transcoder. And lastly, error handling and communications. So we don't want to wait for a stream for a transcode to time out because that's a very bad experience for viewers. We want to be detect errors very early on, so we can start reselection early on and make sure that we recover from any issues as quickly as possible. And so this is just very quickly R&D for the transcoding SPE. We will post a pre-proposal on the forums with a more technical roadmap, which is not particularly prioritized, but we will, of course, prioritize issues based on community feedback. And yeah, feel free to ask me anything about any of this.
Just a note from my. Oh no, do you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Just a note for me, for those watching on Twitter or X, this I feel is really important for the community and for the network. As Inc. is focusing more on real-time video AI, it's really important that we continue to maintain and serve the customers on the network who have historically, made Livepeer the success it is. So, I think this SP is really needed, so we can continue the effort there. And of course, now we'll have potentially resident experts in the technical transcoding side, who can, talk about in community, talk about opportunities, and kind of be living and breathing that. So I think this is an amazing idea. That's just my opinion. But if there's feedback for anyone else, please let us know.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, and I've already touched base a few times with the Miss Server team. I think coming up with this SB from identifying a gap that needs to be filled is sort of the ideal flow of creating those SPEs. So coming less from Inc.'s side and more from the community, sort of seeing what's going on, taking stock of the ecosystem, seeing the gaps that need to be filled, and then proposing an SP around those gaps. And we really want to empower more of the community to start taking on those ownership roles. And GovWorks, of course, is here to support you throughout that journey. So again, thank you, Marco. And yeah, we'll just open up the floor, a couple minutes if you have any feedback or questions. But there will also be that pre-proposal posted in the forum for feedback on Discourse or in Discord. Already seen a comment in the chat. Great SBE, excited. +1. All right, if there are no questions right now, I think we can go to the next slide where we will be recapping some updates from current SBEs, so what's happening and what is to come for SBEs that are already active. If you check out the governance forum, you will see that a lot of the SPEs that are currently active posted their end of year reports for 2024, and some have already started posting their January 2025 updates. So we're just going to briefly run through them. Some of the ongoing initiatives for the Livepeer Cloud SPE is public gateways support. So they are maintaining, monitoring, and optimizing gateways to ensure consistent performance and reliability. And then the next piece is the Agent SPE and LLM gateway. So actively supporting the Agent SPE, which was recently passed in the on-chain voting portal as they develop their ELIZA Livepeer AI integration, which is A16Z's thing they have going, along with the large language model gateway. So there are a couple big initiatives happening within the Livepeer Cloud SPE. Another thing that they're working on is consolidation of tools. So to streamline access, improve UX, they are also consolidating those standalone tools built by Livepeer Cloud SPE into a single platform. And we also have a link right there, tools.livepeer.cloud, for you to check out.
And just want to shout out the members there. I know they're listed, but shout out to Papa Bear, Speedy Bird, and Mike for leading the Cloud SPE. I think we might have lost sound for Noma, or is it just me? Yeah. Y'all can hear me though, right? Discord shenanigans. Give us a second. No. You might have to leave the stage and then come back. I can pick up while Noma's working, but this is the E Squared Education Experience SPE. And this was done by Origin Stories or Sean. This is the January 2025 update. They're currently at MXT Music Tech Conference and Eurosonic. They sponsored ALX Design and are in talks about bringing them to a water cooler, which is pretty cool. Oh, sorry, no, let me invite you back up. Okay, welcome back. And you could try to unmute and see if it works. No, still nothing. Okay, continuing on. They're in pre-production for educational content on film, theater, food, music, gaming, and sports. February 14th, we'll see a co-creation experience in Amsterdam, and there will be a 3-hour workshop in Amsterdam. And then they're in talks with the video AISBE to integrate Flux. So those are the updates for E Squared. And we will continue on. So,
Testing, testing.
yes, I can hear you now.
I think I'm back. All right. There's some weird thing happening with the microphone connecting to my phone against my will, so I'm just having to shut all that down. Thank you so much for your patience. Next update that we have is from the AISBE, which had the third proposal passed recently. So congrats to Rick and team for that. I wish we had the applause soundboard that I've been requesting for since then. But just going to bring Rick up if you would like to come up to recap some of those things, especially in light of the passage of this latest proposal.
Welcome, Rick. And you are muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, welcome.
Great. One moment. So to be on camera as well, I think you can see my screen as well. So thank you so much for bringing me up. And the first thing I just want to say thank you so much to the community to giving us another round of support for the next Treasury proposal. It was amazing to work with you guys the last year. There were so many people involved. I cannot all name them here. But we had an amazing journey last year, and we are really looking forward working with both Inc., the other core contributor groups, to really develop this AI network further. And there are a lot of nice things in store. I shared some resources in the chat with the phase 3 retrospective that Noma talked about, and also the phase 3 proposal, a visual roadmap, and a mission and roadmap. And I will keep it a little bit short apart that there's one open source contributor spotlight as well to showcase everybody that was a part of last year and that really built. Not everybody is yet in there because we still have some bounties open. But I will tell about it a little bit now. So currently the current focus for this month. So the big focus is on the roadmap, and you can look there. There are a lot of things in store for the next 4 months. A lot of our resources are working with Inc. On the real-time video. But we're also having some researches on batch and generative to make them more generic and to allow people to add their own models on there to ensure that both sides of the network can keep growing. The initial focus right now is really working with the agent SPE for their launch. Their proposal is, I think, still up. So if people still want to vote, or just passed? No, it's still up. I will share it in the chat. So if you haven't voted, look at that. We're working with them to for their launch, looking at the LLM changes that Nico did, getting some other changes through the code base, improving the selection algorithm to make that launch a success. Apart from that, we're working on documentation, developer environments with Ink for the public release, creating real-time enhancements, batch generalizations right now. We're doing a lot of bounty reviews in this current phase and improving orchestrator operations still. So that will be the first month of the year. And after that, there is ticket distinction still going on. And we're also currently, as you saw, we have a new researcher joined the team. He's not yet on this slide. I will add him for next time. Prakash, he joined the team as an AI researcher to really help both the engineering teams and the community by if they have questions about new upcoming AI research and helping us with implementing the cutting edge research on top of the Livepeer network. I think, and that was the update from my side. But just thank you all for the support for the next phase and looking forward to working with you guys.
We have one question for Mike. Where's the newly generated AI SP logo?
Yes, that's a really good question. I will put it on the orchestrator. I totally forgot about that with all the backlog items that we had. So, and you had the winning logo for me, I think.
I believe I already sent it, but maybe I can resend.
Yes. Oh, we have to use it here as the SPA logo as well. I'm fine with that as well. So the competition was for the orchestrator base capacity. Thank you so much, Mike. No other questions for my group. Then I think we can move forward.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Oops.
All right. Thank you so much, Rick, for that update. The next update that I'm going to recap really quickly is from the Aquarium SPE. So the forum update for the end of year report is posted. If you want to check that out and see some of those milestones in more detail, please feel free to do so. But brief recap, some of the primitives that were created were the C2PA signed 1 second MP4 segments, and then they were also able to ensure trustless replication and secure Ethereum-based identities. There was some work done around the Aquarium node, the Aquarium app, Aquarium desktop, creation of additional libraries, and some of their next steps for this year is end-to-end AT protocol live streaming focus, and then an official product launch at NW Hacks 2025, which is quite exciting. So shout out to Eli. I always get the handle wrong, just because of how it reads, and Adam, Eli and Adam. I'm not sure if they are present here today, but thank you so much for your contributions. And yeah, we can move on over to final slide if there aren't any updates or questions for the SPs that I've just presented. I think we are good to move on to the next segment. All right, so just gonna cover some governance updates and reminders. As most of you might know, we've been doing, sorry, one question in the chat. Is there a place to look at the open source Aquarium code?
I am not sure, but we can maybe follow up on that.
Yeah, can put that up as a request and share the link in the forum just for visibility for all. But yeah, just wanted to touch base on governance updates and reminders. As some of you might know, GovWorks has been coordinating processes around the on-chain treasury, so streamlining processes for forming SPEs through templates, through resources, guidelines, and so on. So the first update or reminder that we have here is the Governance Hub launched. Thank you, Rick, for sharing that link earlier in chat. The Governance Hub encompasses all the resources you might need to start thinking about contributing to Livepeer, taking stock of the ecosystem of the SPs in the pipeline, like I previously showed. And if you are thinking of taking the step to form an SPE, we have an SP proposal template. We have forms that you can fill if you would like to test an idea with GovWorks before actually sharing it publicly. We'll be able to give you some feedback to help you shape that idea up into presentation format, maybe for the next Treasury call, and then eventually a pre-proposal for the forum. So we have this QR that links to the GovHub. If you just want to scan that and take a gander at the resources, of course, feedback is always welcome. If there's something that you feel could be made better, if there's something that you think is not necessary or just adds a little bit more bureaucracy to the process of forming and maintaining these SPEs, always happy to hear your feedback. Next slide is the SPE dashboard. So this dashboard is a repository of all SP information. Like I previously showed you, the monthly reports are linked within each tile for current SPEs just to keep a record of progress. And I know that the forum can get a little bit messy and hard to follow sometimes, but if you're looking to see reports based on milestones that have been set by SPEs, and we are aggregating those reports right here in the SB dashboard found in GovHub. And then we are making a tradition out of posting the GovWorks community updates. So you can find those in the forum under the governance category. There was recently some work done to clean that up and make sure that the appropriate threads are in the appropriate categories. So you will always find the GovWorks community update in a running thread. This gives a snapshot of governance and SP activity at Livepeer. And I know a lot of people participate in DAOs and governance more asynchronously. So if you just wanted a quick summary of what's been happening, you can always check out that governance GovWorks community update for that. And I can actually just find the most recent link that was posted to share in chat. If you just give me a moment, I have it right here. So yeah, feel free to take a read. And then finally, just wanted to shout out the Cloud SPE. There is a really handy tool that was recently shipped under tools.livepeer.cloud to see vote history per proposal. So I added that link there as well. It's really cool to just see a lot of the activity information that isn't even like reflected in the on-chain voting portal. So thanks a lot to the Livepeer Cloud SP team for shipping this. It's super useful. And yeah, I know a lot. Sorry,
note
go ahead.
there, a note there is we do have an open grant, a grantee that is working on Explorer voting history. They're approaching the end of that grant, so we should have that feature shipping soon once it's reviewed, of course, by Inc. So that maybe is in by end of month, hopefully. But yes, another tool that will be coming to Explore soon. And no more, you're muted if you're talking.
Yeah, it seems like the slides that you're sharing disappeared on my end. I hope everyone else can see it. It's fine for me not to see it. I have it opened up on another screen, but yeah. So I'm just gonna hand over to my colleague Jose to cover wrap up and next steps. Any action items, anything to be aware of in the coming weeks. And really quickly also wanted to recap what Rich from Livepeer Inc. had posted earlier on in chat.
I
So
think I can take over from here if Neoma has problems with sound.
can you hear me?
No, I can hear you, but Jose might not be
Can
able
you
to. Jose,
hear?
we can hear her, but go ahead. Take it. She's saying take it away with the next steps. So
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. We also wanted to use a few minutes to raise some topics about governance within the Treasury and forum, and leave them here for discussion, and also share our opinion and our experience of what we have seen in collaborating with other DAOs. So one of them is SPE's extensions. So of course, many of these SPs that are currently working, and some of them that are being created now, they will strongly contribute to the success of Livepeer ecosystem, and we expect that many of them will want to extend their terms. So they will want to request for additional funding once their allocated funds expire. So based on the current resources, it's considered that the extensions for SPEs are considered the same SPE, and we think this is a good thing to go. So an extension, as it name says, is an extension of the same SPE. However, in order to grant an extension, an SPE that wants to get a new funding allocation will have to go through the same governance procedure as a new one. So they will have to post a new proposal explaining was the motivation for their extension, was the period that they would like to get the funding for, and this way it triggers a new governance procedure with the associated feedback and on-chain proposal. So we think this is very healthy for governance, because it promotes accountability between period and period, and also collaboration and feedback between the community. And we're happy to hear thoughts from the community. And just to make it clear for new SPs that are seeing their expiry period coming to an end, that they would have to prepare a new proposal and pitch it like they would do if they are starting a new SP. And if you go to the next slide, there's another topic we would like to raise, and it's related to governance best practices. We have seen some confusion among SPs regarding keeping a track of record for the proposals. So in order to ensure continuity and accuracy in the governance proposals, it's important to keep a clean track of record. So it's very nice that the community is now more active. So when a pre-proposal is posted, a lot of people are giving feedback, and then they raise some concerns or points that the proposal can be improved with. And many times, and it's best practice to do it, the proposers will account for this feedback, and they will change their request or the proposal based on this feedback, and this is great. And we would like to share some best practice on how to do this. So usually when you change your proposal, before you would post it on chain, even if you're accounting for this feedback that you receive, which is great, but it's better to change, to edit the original proposal so that the forum already contains the final proposal, that people can provide even further feedback on this edited proposal. And once the last version has been agreed upon, then submit it on chain with the latest version, so that the forum version and on-chain version are coinciding. And in this way, there's a clean track of record. So people can go on chain, see what's the proposal being voted, and this relates back to the forum proposal. So these are our suggestions. It's always up for discussion, so please share if you agree, if you see points that this could be improved. And as always, if you want to keep updated with calendar updates and events from the Livepeer ecosystem, you can always download and import the Livepeer calendar in this QR. So that's it for me. Thank you all. I hope to see you in the next Treasury Talk.
Thank you, Jose, for covering those last few steps. If there are any questions around, like more meta governance questions around the process for forming SPEs, around the process for shipping proposals to the forum, and so on, DMs are always open. You can always post in the governance channel and tag us. And yeah, just hoping to bring more structure, more predictability to things. Maybe one thing to also mention is we will be keeping the Treasury Talk event at the monthly cadence as suggested by SB members and orchestrators sometime last year. And also making sure that we're keeping it at a predictable date or like a range of dates. So I think that having it like a little bit in the middle of the month is good for like substantial updates from the previous month and some forward-looking statements for the month to come or the month that you're already in. But if there are any objections or ideas around that structure, feel free to share. We are also just creating that tradition around posting the reports around the Treasury Talk or shortly after so that there is something to report. I hope everyone can hear me.
It appears that people cannot hear you now. I can hear you, but
Okay, I think it's just Discord being Discord
yeah.
again. I'm so sorry.
Also, the other thing is that all of these recordings will be posted post. So if you miss anything, we will have it recorded and post on YouTube in the short term. So you can always check it out if you miss anything. But apologies, Discord always is so finicky. Maybe I'll just take over for the last bit, Noma. Yeah, so we're going to be doing the monthly cadence. The other note is moving forward, we will have a content calendar where everything is consistent. I know there's been some inconsistency over the last year with the date moving around. Starting February, that will no longer happen. We'll have the consistent cadence, so you can expect when this is going to happen every month, and that date will not move. What is the phrase? Come hell or high water. We will be doing the Treasury Talk. So yeah, and is there anything else, Jose or Noma, you wanted me to share, or are we good?
I think we did pretty well on time. Maybe we can leave the floor open for the last couple minutes if anyone wants to come on stage and like share a couple words or do a bit of an intro if you're new to the community. We've covered everything that needs to be covered. There will be a summary and recording going up. There will be more announcements to come for new events, verticals, new reminders to be aware of, and so on. But so far, all good for Treasury Talk 1 of 2025. And yeah, if you want to come up and say a couple words, just raise a hand.
The other thing I wanted to mention, just a little sneak peek, myself and Carlotta will be running a new weekly Twitter space for Livepeer. That will be starting next week. So, I know you haven't got enough of us yet. So we will be doing that weekly, engaging on X/Twitter. So, there's going to be more happening in 2025 on the community end. Yeah, Papa Bear says try leaving, coming back. It usually works. That's for folks in the audience who can't hear everybody. So yeah, I think we're already starting the year off strong. There's a ton of exciting stuff, not only happening at Inc., but within the community and at SPEs, as you've seen today. So yeah, I'm feeling hype. I think 2025 is gonna be a great year for Livepeer. So yeah, we'll see if anyone wants to come up. Any comments before we wrap up?
Yeah, and I think Rich really hit the nail on the head in the comment earlier in chat around this early part of the year being like a more experimental phase. So just encouraging folks with a little bit more experimental ideas to pitch them, come forward, see if there can be a bit of a pilot to then eventually, hopefully, mature into a full-fledged SPE by doubling down on some big wins. So as you can see, like a couple things have been passed, like the education and experience SPE, the agent SPEs, which are a little bit more experimental, and then hopefully by shipping clear deliverables, by hitting clear targets, remaining accountable to the community through your updates, those eventually can mature into full-fledged SPEs, such as like the AI SPE and the Cloud SPE. So yeah, just wanted to encourage folks, like if you have an idea, you're not sure if it'll go down too well, if it's a little bit, out of bounds, still come forth and we'll see how we can help shape things up.
And I will say one of the vibes that have been identified, and again, I'm newer to Livepeer. I've been here like a little over 6 months. But I was talking to Doug, and one of the attributes of the community he mentioned to me was friendly. So you will be welcomed with open arms. We are always excited to hear ideas, perspectives here in the community. So those who are watching on X, please, jump into the Discord. We're having a great time over here, and we're also going to be having bi-weekly, and this is, I think, news to Noah maybe, but in the community strategy I've been developing, we're going to have bi-weekly SP formation sessions where we can just hang out, chat, talk about ideas, talk about the gaps in the community that we're seeing, talk about maybe things that are under resourced from the Inc. side that the community can maybe pick up and help with. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities this coming year and a lot more structure to allow those opportunities to be realized. So now is a great time to jump in before it's like before there's 15 million SPEs. And everyone has covered all of the bases here at Livepeer. So yeah, make sure to jump into Discord. I think the link is maybe in our bio on X. I'm not fully sure. I forget, blanking on that, but you can always go to the discord.gg/livepeer, which is our vanity link. So easy to jump in. And in the future, when we have these events, we'll definitely have a QR code for you to scan so you can join our server. But yeah, it looks like there's no more questions. Do I have any more thoughts? Or Noma, go ahead.
No, I just said I don't think we will ever really cover all the bases. I'm looking forward to SB Inception, an SB of an SB and an SB. So I think, like, for example, what the refraction team is doing by exposing use cases to artists and community also opens up the floor for like more development. So there, I think, will always be like new bases to cover with the evolution of Livepeer, which is also like pretty exciting to think about. So yeah, that is all from me, folks. If there's nothing else, I think we can wrap it right here. And
So,
looking
no,
forward
quick
to.
thing. We're getting
Oh,
word from Carlotta to see if we can keep it going for a bit longer. So I don't know if we have any more thoughts, but people on X are loving the vibes. So I don't know if people have more thoughts, but let's try to do the last 5 minutes. We can continue to share any updates we have. On my end, something else I wanted to mention is that in addition to the Twitter Spaces, we're also going to be doing some workshops for Comfy UI, which is the main software to build the pipelines for the real-time video AI pipelines. So we have a Comfy UI hacker program currently running, and today is actually the day for the submissions of the projects. Next week, we'll be having the demo day for that. It'll be similarly live streamed. And we'll be announcing the winners. We'll be showcasing what people have built. And exciting news, I have actually built one too. So she's technical. Who said you can't be community and technical? No. So I built a pipeline. It was pretty cool. It allows you to there's a lot of in Star Rick. It allows you to, be on camera like I am, and it uses this thing called temporal inconsistency, which is like a bug kind of for a lot of pipelines where basically it doesn't have the memory of the previous image, so it like constantly shifting. But essentially, it uses that to make your background animated. So you can be here and then you can like change it. My pipeline was kind of not the best, but we have a really experienced developer in the hacker program named Ori. I don't think he's here right now, but Ori helped, kind of do a V2 and was able to alter the background real time. So you could, make your background a forest, or you can make it an ocean, and it would constantly be shifting as you're on camera. So I don't know. I've never seen that before, but I felt really proud of myself that I was able to build one. And internally at Inc. right now we're having a competition, and I submitted it, and I really hope I win. But the competition was fierce, so I don't know what's gonna happen there. We have a comment from Raf saying, would love to fold things like this into the Refraction X Livepeer live stream concept. 100%. Lots of potential synergy. Noma, any thoughts from you before? Oh, where are we from?
Yeah, I know we covered most things. I did want to add really quickly, as we formalize GovWorks into an official SPE, of course, we'll be seeking a lot more community participation, especially from SPE leads, orchestrators. So just, putting that out there that there will be space for contribution from the highest context members of the Livepeer ecosystem, which are you guys. So yeah, just things to look out for in terms of more contribution pathways and having effect on the allocation of the on-chain treasury. But yeah, it's great to see that the people on like Twitter were enjoying this.
Yeah.
Someone asked, "Where are you from, guys?" I am Nigerian, currently living in the US.
Um, I am also, I don't know if we introduced, or if I introduced myself. My name is N, pronouns are they, them, and I'm head of community here at Livepeer. And I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. Now I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. So yeah, and it's like really cold here right now. It's just annoying. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, a question I have. When does GovWorks know when they're going to launch the proposal for a vote for GovWorks? I don't know if there's like a timeline you want to share, or if that's still TBD.
We do have a timeline in mind, so we're hoping to ship that proposal and begin to onboard the rest of the council for GovWorks before the end of Q1. So I think a lot of that activity you'll start to see from like February, early February. We already have a proposal in draft, touching base with Inc., with a few like orchestrators and so on for feedback, and then we will be presenting ourselves on the Treasury Talk and so on, just like you guys are. So yeah,
I'm gonna
just
vote for
dogfooding
you.
our own process that we have designed and seeing how efficient it really is. And yeah, open to all feedback.
Awesome. And the other question I have is, so I assume you're gonna get a pre-proposal up sooner rather than later for folks to kind of more deeply understand GovWorks' future role in the Livepeer ecosystem.
Absolutely. There will be a pre-proposal. We'll be going through due process as defined for governance. So with presenting on Treasury Talk, having a pre-proposal up on the forum, hopefully sending that to the on-chain voting portal after incorporating all feedback. And then, yeah, hopefully we get GovWorks passed with some budget and we're able to do even more great stuff within the Livepeer ecosystem, collaborate deeply with other teams and so on. Thank you
Awesome.
all so much for joining. I can see some folks are already dropping off, but I
Yeah,
think
and we're
we
we're
did
at
really well
time.
on
We
time.
made it. The
Yeah.
hour. I hope you enjoyed me and Noma's banter. Uh, and yeah, I know. I just personally, I think that we have an amazing community here at Livepeer. We have an amazing team at Inc. We have amazing folks in each SPE, and I think we're really starting to find, at least, since I've been here, you can't speak for the history of Livepeer, but I think we're really starting to step into an amazing cohesion. And I think we have a huge opportunity to skyrocket Livepeer into the next stage of its evolution. So stick around and participate. We're friendly. I don't bite. And I hate that I said that. I'm sorry. That's so annoying. Anyway, yes, have a great afternoon, everyone, or morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. And that's it for me.
Signing off. See you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.